Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of Satisfactory. And today is the day we're finally going to get to put down our space elevator. So I've been traveling around in a couple of different directions. I went out in that direction and I went off in this direction some just to see if I found a great spot. Unfortunately, I didn't find anywhere that was perfectly flat of an area that I would love to use. So we'll just try to make the best of it. At this particular point, I still don't know how much building we're going to have to do around it and exactly what size it is. So there's a lot of unknowns going into today, and that's very exciting for me. But the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure that our generators have plenty of biofuel. And that's one thing I have done since our last video. Let's see, these guys have shut down. They're probably, yep, they're full. So they're ready for us to upgrade so that we can start using some of these materials. But I decided to make the one thing so far that I have not tried to automate is biofuel. So I decided to do just that. This is certainly not the most efficient design by far, but it was good enough for the time I had to spend on creating it. So what I did is I put a storage container here that I dump all the wood in, and then right next to it is one for all of the leaves. These feed into constructors. Each of them is creating biomass. One is creating biomass from wood, and the other is creating biomass from the leaves. Now, right now, you can see we are at a standstill. Oh, we're out of power. No wonder. That'd be a good reason for the standstill. And then they all feed into, both of these feed into one final constructor, which is creating the biofuel. So let's come back around here to our final storage container. Let's take all of the biofuel that it has right now, and let's see if we can help out with getting this operation back up and going. So hopefully here very shortly we will be taking care of this issue. So we got 162 there, 162 there, no problem. I was a little hesitant to automate. Okay, we're out of fuel there. So let's see how many we're out of fuel on. So 44 there, so certainly not a huge amount. We're out of fuel in 2 of them, 3 of them. We've got 100 here and 49 there. So we're out of fuel on 3 at least right now. The good news is we have tons of resources, so it's not a huge deal. So we've got 200. Let's go ahead and split that into 100 apiece. And we'll go ahead and get these guys up and running that were completely out. We'll split the stack of 182. And where's the other one? Yes, this is the one that was out as well. So now we've got 90 to 100 in all of these. I'm going to split this stack one more time, get him near 100 as well. This one's at 100. And this one will be as close as I can get him to 100 here shortly. So that should be plenty good for what we need. We'll turn it back on and hopefully everything will be going well. I see green, so I believe we're in good shape. Okay, excellent. So now let's take a look and see what we need to build our space elevator. We need 500 concrete. Okay, wow. Let's see if we have, yes, we do have 500 concrete. All right, but first things first, looks like we've got some stuff we need to get rid of. So let's head over to storage and do just that, because we're going to need all of the inventory space we can possibly muster. Now, most of these things that I'm carrying right now are things that I picked up as I was going around and cutting the trees and leaves and so on. So let's go ahead and get rid of everything that we're probably not going to need for the foreseeable future. And I tell you what, even the reinforced plate, we won't need it right now. We won't need the nuts, and I believe that's it. Everything else, well, actually we won't need the screws either just yet. All right, so let's head back over to the concrete and we'll pick that up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And what's next? Oh, excuse me, 500. So 5, there we go. Now let's head back to the space elevator. See, we need 250 plates. That is a complete non-issue. We'll be able to pick those up very quickly. All right, so 1, 2, and I'm going to pick up 300 plus. I believe we already had some in here, so that's no problem. Okay, we're good there. What's next? We are going to need a little bit more of the iron rods. I'm going to go ahead and get a few more than it's asking for. So 1, 2, 3, 4 I'll get of those. And let's see what's last on the list. We need some copper wire. And actually, we almost have enough copper wire with what we already have. But not quite enough. So we'll head over, we'll grab some copper wire, and then we'll be on our way. So right now we have way more resources of everything except for concrete than what we actually need. So we'll quickly pick up, let's get a couple of those. So that way we'll have some extra after we're done. So we got one inventory slot remaining. Now let's head out and put down this space elevator. First things first, let's make sure we do indeed have everything. Yes, we have it. Just barely on the concrete, but we've got it. If anything, right now we need to head over in that direction and expand our concrete operation. But right now, that's everything else is humming right along. I thought we had another node right here of limestone, but it was just above ground. It wasn't anything that I could put a Mark I miner on. Now, for right now, you see if I get a little bit closer, there we go. The poisonous gas, we can't get over into that area. There's quite a bit of biofuel that's just waiting for me over there, but we can't quite get over there yet. I'm hoping that there will be an upgrade in the future that will allow us to do just that. But the area that I've picked out is right over here. Now we've got this great arch over in the distance here. And so this is the area that I want to put our structure in. This is about the most wide open area I could find that is reasonably nearby. I didn't want to go out and do too much adventuring because, again, I want to do as much of that together as we can. So space elevator, let's see. This thing is pretty good size. Are there inputs? Yes, there are. Okay, there's 3 inputs there. And then 3 inputs on the opposite side. So is that it? 6 input? Okay, so if we do that, wow, this is very delicate to try to place this thing. All right, if we come in at it like that, let's go ahead and build that. Let's see what that looks like, because I'm pretty sure I can take it back up with no penalty if that's not what we want to do. All right, so right here is going to be 3. Wow, this is taking quite a while. Okay, there we go. So here's our first 3, and that's not, well, it's not perfect. We're cutting it a little close on the corner here for one of these. So we've got these 3, which are not terrible. Let's see what we're looking like over here. Again, I'm trying to stay away from this for the time being. And what about, okay, so now it looks like we got another terminal up there to take a look at. What about on this side? Okay, I kind of like this. This is good. On this side, we've got plenty of room to come in through here with basically anything we're going to need. Okay, so I guess I can live with this. It's not perfect placement, but I guess around this area, what is? So let's go ahead and, oops, come on. Configure the space elevator. There we go. So now we're going to be doing our upgrades from here. So project assembly platform. Space elevator resource delivery is just 1. I assume that means level 1. Delivery will unlock tiers 3 and 4. Okay, excellent. So that's 3 and 4 back at our hub. We've already unlocked 1 and 2. So this will give us 3 and 4. And I believe one of these is surely going to give us access to coal and some power that way, which will certainly help us out with automation. So what do we need here? We need 75 iron plates and 50 rotors. Okay, well, that's interesting. I'm not sure exactly how to make those things, so I guess that's next item on the list. All right, so it turned out that we needed one more upgrade because I realized when I got back over here that I don't have a blueprint for a rotor. And so I started looking through the hub terminal for an upgrade, and it turns out part assembly is exactly that. There's our rotor, and then we get access to the assembler, which is going to enable us to take in multiple inputs, and as well as a modular frame that I got a feeling we're going to need quite a bit in the future. So we needed to take care of this. So I've gathered the resources. We had absolutely plenty. So I've gathered those. Let's go ahead and drop everything in here. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and launch that. And I love to come out here and see exactly what's about to happen. I'm not sure exactly the point of doing this. We already have access to everything we need even before this thing gets back. But regardless, here we are. So it'll be back in about 6 minutes. And so our next item up could be, let's see, conveyor walls might be helpful. I like the idea of the stairs. And then we've got jump pads, which I'm sure are tons of fun, but we're not quite ready to get into that. And then walkways, which I'm very interested in. In fact, we almost have enough to unlock that with where we are right now. So let's go ahead and we'll select that as our milestone. But right now what I'm really interested in is to see what we're going to need for this rotor, because we need a lot of them. So we need iron rods and we need screws. Okay, well, that's not so bad. I forget exactly how many rotors we needed, but I know it was a bunch. So why not, let's cook up some screws. We'll go ahead and get a bunch of those, and we'll keep an eye out for how many rotors that we can actually make. We're at 12 now. And we're simply going to use all of the bars that we have, because we got plenty more that we can go and get. So it shouldn't be too terribly long before we're ready to do our first upgrade on the space elevator and unlock tiers 3 and 4. All right, so we have 45 rotors that we can make right now. So we're just going to keep going here. That's what we need to do at this point. Now, naturally, in the future, we're going to want to automate this, but I want to get a little bit deeper into it and see sort of where we're going a little bit more before I set up our first assembler and start the automation that way. I don't know how many rotors we're going to need, how many modular frames we're going to need. All right, there we go. So you can see on one hand, our number of rotors we can make is actually going down, but that's simply because we're using up all of the iron rods for the screws. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and use all of those. There we go. Now we'll head out and we'll get more of that. So that's certainly not a problem. Well, if I can get through my own maze. All right, there we go. And so now we'll head back over and we'll see just how many of these we can make. One more thing I do want to show you guys that I don't think I've mentioned in the videos to this point is that right over here, and I may have and simply forgotten about it, but right over here there is a cave. I have not gone very far down into it yet. I have no idea what's down in there, but my guess is there's some bad stuff there. So I'm holding off a little bit right now because all we have is our little zapper here. And I'm not sure that that's going to help us a whole lot with some of the stuff we might encounter. All right, so reinforced iron plates. Wow, only 42 of those? All right, so we'll go ahead and make those. I think we needed, was it 75? Oh, I've got to get a better memory for these things, but because right now I can't remember exactly what we need. But if we need to make these in the future, then we'll have to set up a constructor making screws from the iron rods, which will be no problem at all. And then the plates will bring in the iron plates to make the reinforced plates. So not bad at all. Okay, so now we are actually out of iron plates. So I'm going to go ahead and do some more of this crafting and we'll be back. All right, so I've just finished up crafting what I believe is going to be enough of what we need. So we need 75 reinforced iron plates and 50 rotors. I cannot wait to automate that so that we can do the same thing with these as what we just did with the iron plates and rods, which is to simply go over to a storage container and grab them. Now, this is quite the device here. That is, wow. Can't wait to see what this thing looks like as we continue to upgrade it. My only concern at this point is, do we have enough room here on the side? I'm just not sure, but I guess we'll find out at some point in the future. Okay, so let's configure the space elevator. Let's give it 50 rotors, 75 plates, and fire away. All right, we're sealing. And now we're sending. All right, so is there something I'm about to see? Oh, we're turning. We've got, okay, this looks bad. This looks like it could turn out bad for us to be nearby. So there it goes. It's going to push that elevator right up into space. And, well, at least it's going up a long way. We'll say that. So now, what is next on the list? Oh, wow. We've got motors. We've got modular frames. All right, so that really tells me that we're going to need to get into some automation. I'm going to need to set up some assemblers because we've got quite a bit to do before we can do that. But because I don't want to make all this stuff manually, that's not the point of the game. So let's go back over and let's see what we just unlocked. So we sent that thing into space. Oh, and it's coming back. That scared me to death when I first looked at that. And okay, it's back. So I assume it propelled whatever it needed to up into space, and project assembly is underway. All right, part of me is surprised we haven't run out of power just yet. That biofuel is hanging in there for me. But now, let's take a look at what we have available. So you can see I've actually activated the milestone for walkways. And that's because I really want to set some of these up as we continue to get bigger and bigger factories. But I may take care of that for the time being. There we go. Tier 3, coal power. Well, that's what I was looking for, and now we have it. If we click on that, and we get access to our very first vehicle. All right, this is the tier I was waiting on. We've got a tractor. We've got a station for that tractor. And we've got coal generation, and then, of course, that means our scanner is going to be updated so that we can find that. Excellent. That is exactly what I was hoping for. We have more logistics. We've got belts. Okay, faster belts. And then we've got a stackable conveyor pole. Yes, please. That could be a lot of fun. And then what's on tier 4? Oh, we got steel production. We got a more efficient miner, I'm assuming. Let's see, yes, 120 resources per minute. I believe 60 is what the Mark 1 does. We've got a foundry, which turns, let's see, 2 resources into alloy ingots. Okay, interesting. We'll see what happens there. And then there's our steel ingots, steel beams, pipes. Wow, we've got lots of stuff. Motors, heavy modular frame. Yeah, we're getting deep into Satisfactory at this point. But for me, the biggest thing going forward is going to be we have access to our first tractor, which we should be able to automate if I can figure out how that works. And that way we don't have to worry so much about where things are placed. We can simply have these devices go back and forth delivering what we need. So that's going to do it for today. When we come back next time, we'll dig much deeper into getting coal power set up, and hopefully that'll go a long way toward reducing, if not eliminating, our need for the biofuel. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our gameplay series of Satisfactory.